Inside 2 minutes, Greg Joseph boots one through the uprights. 3-0, your final. There have been 8 instances in NFL history of a 3-0 game. This is the first since 2007, and the Vikings are the only team to take part in 2 of those contests.
Congratulations.
Win is a win is a win. Say it 3 times because that's how many points you had. Joe Musso alongside Ryan Wilson. Here to, I often say, delve deeper. I'm not sure how deep we need to delve into this one or how deep we can delve. I guess let's start about the quarterback scenario right now with the Vikings. Josh Dobbs on 0 points and a whole lot of offensive strife. Gets the hook. Nick Mullins leads that drive that leads to the 3 points. Where has November Dobbs gone? I mean, this was the darling of the league for some times, and the bloom is well off that rose. What did you see today, and how have we fallen so far?
Well, I mean, there's a reason that he had bounced around that way. He was in Cleveland last year before he was traded to Arizona. Prior to that, he was with the Steelers and had a few chances to get on the field there. And you see the glimpses during those stops of what made him so special. And he had a couple of good games in Arizona this year as well. But then you see the other stuff that comes after it. And that's what can lead to you being a journeyman player in the NFL, a backup quarterback who can come in. And we talk about this all the time. You can come in and hold down the fort for 3 or 4 weeks perhaps, but you're not going to be the long-term solution, and that's the case with Josh Dobbs. And the story was a fantastic story. 5 days rest since getting released by getting traded by the Cardinals right before the trade deadline, and Kirk Cousins goes down. This team is in the middle of the playoff hunt, and reality comes. And sometimes it slaps you right in the face, and that's what we've seen here. And look, 6-6 now, I think is what they are. They're still in it. But let's be real about it. If you don't have a quarterback, if Nick Mullins is going to be the guy going forward, it's basically Josh Dobbs coming in to try to save the season in much the same way, and the odds are long.
And the wins all do count, so we must not short them. 7-6.
My bad.
Following this victory, but it's an important win, whether it be 3-0 or 30-0.
Right.
They win this game, they stay in that wild card hunt. I guess I ask the question next of who gives them the best chance to be that wild card team when it comes to quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a tough.
You flip a coin.
It's a question with no answer.
I think here's one thing to consider. Justin Jefferson had to leave with with an injury. 2 catches for just over 20 yards.
Yeah.
That's a big part of trying to save the season. Jordan Addison's done a great job as a rookie in Justin's absence, but you need Justin out there. He had to leave with a chest injury, ended up going to the hospital. So that's a concern, and that makes everyone's job easier no matter where you are on the depth chart at quarterback, whether QB2 or QB3 or even beyond that. So I think that's where the conversation begins, and then I guess Kevin O'Connell and the coaching staff will get together and figure out who can make the fewest mistakes at the quarterback position, and then you go forward from there because you need help from that defense to help take over. Great showing by the defense against Aiden O'Connell led Raiders team, but again, this feels like, again, to quote our buddy B-Mac, an in-the-way team should they find their way into the playoffs.
Earlier in the day, we were talking about Cleveland's efficiency despite all of the attrition.
Yeah.
Can you say something positive right now about this Minnesota team if we are focusing on the coaching staff? Because so much was made of them in those one-score games a year ago. They've found themselves in those one-score games again this year. I believe this is their 23rd one-score game since the start of last season. To keep this team, even where they are right now, different quarterbacks, not having your top wide receiver. I mean, this is in some ways more impressive than what Kevin O'Connell and this team did last year from a coaching standpoint.
I agree 100%. I think Kevin O'Connell deserves a ton of credit for what he's been able to do. And even going back to Josh Dobbs' first start on 5 days with his new team, there were situations where you could see Kevin O'Connell telling Josh Dobbs exactly what the play call was in terms of the routes being run and having him go execute it. And we talk a lot about coaches in the moment being overwhelmed. In-game decision time. You do not get that sense from Kevin O'Connell. The other thing is he is a quarterback coach prior to becoming a head coach, so he has the understanding of how to get the most out of his quarterbacks, which buttons to push to get them to do what they can hopefully do to help this team win. And the demeanor on the sidelines is one from Kevin O'Connell where you feel like there is never any panic. Now, Brian Flores, defensive coordinator, you don't get a sense of panic, but you get a sense of we're going to bring the chaos, and whatever comes, we'll deal with it. And that's been good for that side of the football. But I think ton of credit goes to Kevin O'Connell, what they've been able to do. And I think you're exactly right. This year feels more impressive when you're not looking at the wins and losses, just in terms of coaching this team, which was without his best player in Kirk Cousins.
Well, that staff squeezed 3 points out of Nick Mullins in this football game, and it was all that was required, 3-0. Again, a historic low in terms of offensive output. We look at the lowest scoring games in the Super Bowl era. Now, there have been a handful of 2-0 games. I'm told that the most recent, Ryan, was Bears-Packers.
1938.
2-0 in 1938. Now, if we're talking Super Bowl era, this is as low as it gets. You need points to win. 3-0. Again, our first such instance since 2007. Shout out to B-Mac.
Yeah, look at that.